We're broadcasting.
I know.
We're live. So yeah, if you guys got the email that, hey, look, CounterSlam went live. Yeah, we're actually live right now. So we're gonna do this.
Not that anyone really cares.
It's
just that he's lazy and doesn't want to edit.
Yeah, it's just easier to post when we do it live. So we're just gonna do it that way. So all right, well, welcome. We want to talk to you guys about what we saw, what we all saw, I guess, with the TempleCon announcements, which are pretty exciting stuff.
Because you value our horribly uninformed opinions much more than your own.
Yeah, right. We'll tell you what to think about this stuff. Okay, but
honestly, we were texting all day, and we decided to get together.
We're all getting like schoolgirls, like we're gonna get new stuff.
Oh yeah. Oh, I was so super excited. I think I actually squealed when I watched the video and they showed off like my Lester Warlock. I was just like,
yeah, he was like that, and Joyce was like, really?
Oh no, I told her that we got the Lester Warlock and she's gonna make Griffins better, and she's like,
But then she saw the Cephalyx stuff. Anyway, before we get so yeah, well, before we get into the TempleCon stuff, we could talk about the new release that just came out, or that they kind of spoiled, the new Stryker model. Which
I think he's actually on sale there, or he was. That's why we have images of his card.
Oh, maybe. So yeah, I'm not looking forward to playing this guy. I can tell you that much.
I think that he. I'm not entirely sure how competitive he's going to end up being, but I can't say that by looking at him that he wouldn't be fun to play. And I love his theme. I think they've done I think they did a really good thing with him and with the Butcher, because both of them I think are built really strongly around what their theme is supposed to be. And Butcher's theme is that he's like a psychopathic murderer and murders all the stuff. And he does that really well. And his theme, Stryker's theme, is that he is extremely aggressive, and he and his army are going to murder all the things that you love, and that's what he does.
You know, I look at this, and it's almost going to be fun playing against this guy, against the Signar players, because their heads are going to explode, because this dude has more rules to it than, it's like looking at the back of like Bethane and Belphegor's card, where it's just all text. Like
he does have a lot going on.
He's got, like,
he does.
You could also make a game out of it, like which rule are they going to forget this time, you know, because they're going to, people are going to forget.
Just make a drinking game out of it, like every time the person forgets a rule on his card, you drink.
Take a shot.
No, they should drink. You know?
Yeah.
It's like, up, you forgot that rule on his card, take a shot.
Oh, your Stormlancers, yep, they didn't get their form, did they? Oh, take a shot. Take a shot for each one.
Forget my rules, I take shots.
Man, I love him. He's so different than other Signar casters. I think that's the thing I like the most about him, is that most Signar casters are like, I do a lot of stuff myself, and I give out like these defensive and utilitarian buffs to my army. And like, yeah, he still does a lot of stuff himself. He hasn't changed in that regard, but he has no defensive buffs at all.
And his armor's only 16.
The only thing he gives that you could even be considered defensive is his elite cadre to the Stormlancers.
Or his armor 16, sorry. Defense 15, armor 16.
But like, he's got fury and sorry, not wild aggression, iron aggression, right? And like, those two things will make his arm, well, and escort, and those things will make his army just like, it'll get to you and it'll murder you. And then just for shits and giggles, he has Chain Blast, because that spell's awesome. Ask any Ron player. Chain Blast is amazing.
I think he's going to be able to run infantry and warjacks really well, and I think because of that, I think his biggest weakness is because he's going to be on a large base using a lot of focus. So it's not going to be that hard to shoot him off the table. My biggest thing I'm excited about him is his field marshal, because other than the storm wall and maybe a charger or two, you really don't see. I
was looking at all the jacks that they have, and there was a bunch of them that I was thinking that would be really good to take with him. Since he's going to want to take storm dudes anyway, a Stormclad with its accumulator for storm guys, yeah, that'll be good with him. And its gun is like POW 14, I think, range 8, but he gives it assault. Yeah. So, and then like Thunderhead will be good with him. Similar thing. Just runs in, bam, assault with its gun, and then starts pounding on.
Which one's the one with armor piercing? Is that the Hunter, or what they call it?
Hunter, yeah.
That could be decent. The Hunter's not so great in melee, but if you need to, you could charge somebody with the Hunter. Hey, I think that
assault armor piercing.
The light warjacks, I think, are not going to be his strong suit, but like a Hammersmith, because a Hammersmith has a thrown hammer and a melee hammer.
With advanced deploy and the extended control range, could the Hunter assault and shoot on the first top of turn 1 and get advanced deploy large bases, medium or large bases?
Let's see, if it's advanced deploy and...
I haven't done the math. But...
So it goes 6 inches up, say. Well, if it's a scenario that it's that's on the 13-inch line. So then it assaults forward. Its speed 6. That's 9 inches, and it's got a range 14 gun. So that's 25 threat range off of the 13-inch line. So, yeah, that's 38 inches. That gets 2 inches. Aggression. That gets 2 inches into the actual deployment zone of your opponent. I think.
Yeah,
no. Sorry, I take that back. It gets right onto your deployments. So if they have things that are on the line at the 10-inch, you can shoot those things. So they have to set them slightly back so that you don't assault your dude into them.
Yeah, escort's gonna be pretty sick with those guys too. Oh my gosh, it's gonna be pretty intense.
So his theme list will obviously be all the storm guys. I hope it's good, because this guy, we were talking about this. He's kind of obviously designed to really be like, hey, you know all those storm guys that you never want to take that are really good when they charge? Now they're even better when they charge. Take them.
Yeah.
So I hope that the tier list is good, like good enough to be maybe taken competitively, and then we get to see those storm guys more often.
I would love that. Yeah, with all that, like, people hate the defender, but that defender gun, and way back in the day when I played against Ignore players that played that defender, that gun hurts, and assault on it.
Defenders, yeah, they're not bad in melee either. Their weapon is like POW 15, 16, something like that. It's not bad. The thing is, you got to remember that he still has Fury and and Iron Aggression for all of his stuff. So, like, whichever thing he throws at you is going to either hit you really hard or just never miss you.
Yeah, the tier list will have to give a discount on those storm lists, because the biggest gripe Signar players have about their infantry is just that they're overcosted compared to what they.
Oh, it probably will.
Or it'll be like free.
So it'll probably be it'll probably have a free UA thing. It may also have a point reduction, and then he'll probably have a battle group bonus for taking like a certain number of them. Because, I mean, that's kind of how they've been doing these sorts of guys. Yeah. This guy looks like a lot of fun. And you are just going to have to suck it up and deal with more auto-hitting.
I hate auto-hit feats. I hate it! Take that, Stryker. Okay.
Iron Aggression on the Storm Wall, and the Storm Wall has Assault.
Dude, I would love to have an assault on my Archangel. That'd be ridiculously cool.
I don't know.
Escort, fantastic.
I really think that this is going to be like one Signar caster where the Stormwall is not actually his best option. I really feel like for him, based on how his feat works and his field marshal, and that he has Iron Aggression and Fury, I really feel like he's going to want to take 2 heavies.
Oh yeah,
it probably won't. I'm just thinking of a Stormwall with Assault.
Yeah. Although I guarantee you, someone will put the Stormwall down there and just be like, "I'm just gonna hide behind it."
He's gonna need help staying alive. I mean, they got a shield guard guy, don't they?
At the end of the game,
yeah, I'm sure they do.
At the end of the game, that guy's gonna come after you. He's gonna go like, he's gonna do what Epic Virus does, where he just comes and runs you down. Except he's gonna do it better.
Yeah. So, all right, well, let's get into the TempleCon announcement, because there's a lot of stuff to cover in this thing too. So the new book is called Exigence. Exigence, yeah.
So we have Vengeance and Exigence. This is the gents cycle.
I learned a new word.
Yeah, no, I looked at it, I'm like, as they're announcing, I'm like spelling it out. Okay, wait, that's not the word I'm thinking. What is this word? So Exigence, yes. And so right off the bat, they go into gators and pigs, which I thought was awesome.
They're getting new warlocks.
New warlocks, and
they're female warlocks.
Females, yes. Although
because I guess somebody just looked at that and they're like, these factions have no female models at all.
No, I haven't asked you, because you were so on the fence about selling your gators. Did you see this and go, dang, I have to stay in this faction? Or did you go like, woohoo, I didn't sell my gators?
I just said, oh, that's interesting. Gators have a new caster and a battle engine. I honestly didn't feel strongly one way or the other, honestly. There was a... look, it was funny about the Helga the Conqueror, the new pig one. I can't wait till someone's gonna mod thing up to look like Miss Piggy or something like that. It's gonna be really funny. But
there'll be lots of funny things. Yeah, they'll put the gator in a tutu or something. Yeah, like that.
Her name is Jaga Jaga, which I thought was so funny. I don't want to tell people like, oh, who you taking? I'm taking the butcher. Who are you bringing? Jaga Jaga. Jaga. Sounds like Jar Jar Binks.
Yeah.
Hey, you know what though? If these 2 casters are like anything at all on the level of the last 2 warlocks they got, it'll be really good, because both of those warlocks added things that those factions desperately needed and were really good in their own right. And then if they do that again, maybe pigs and gator players will stop griping so much.
A lot of people, I was looking on the forums, people were posting about the minions, and they were saying that like people are asking, well, would you in this next book would you rather have more stuff or another caster? A lot of them didn't want another caster. They're like, we've got enough casters. Give us stuff to work with. Give us a colossal. Give us a battle. Give us more units.
They
give
all
us
say that until they get the amazing caster that makes everything that they already have work better.
Well,
because
we did that. We got Rask.
That's the beautiful. Yeah, you did. Carver, not as much. He's still good. He still does lots of awesome things, but he doesn't really kind of bring the whole faction together. I think the way the pigs wanted, but that's the wonderful thing about this is like about this game is you can just swap out your caster and your army works differently. And so like yeah, they'll get new stuff obviously, but they'll also get a new warlock and they'll like it.
Well, pigs really are in need of another unit though. I mean they have two very situational.
Oh, they'll probably get a unit.
Units.
I mean, they got the wonky little Lester last time. This time they'll probably get a unit.
And it's possible we'll still get more stuff. I mean, it's not like they've only just spoiled some of them. I mean, they haven't talked anything about units at all. They didn't in the whole discussion. So
yeah, well, I'm sure that there's going to be a bunch of stuff. I mean, like Vengeance is shaping up to be a really big book. I'm sure Exigence will be a really big book too.
Yeah.
See, the last time the Colossals and Gargantuans books were a little smaller than normal because I mean, the Colossals book was just a caster and a Colossal.
I didn't buy the Convergence book, and not the Convergence book. I'm sorry, the
Gargantuans.
I didn't buy the Colossals book because I'm like, okay, we all got like
a
caster and a Colossal. I'm like,
right.
And then you're talking like 6 factions, whatever. It's like, that's a lot of money for
the Hordes factions. They got more stuff because they pretty they always do because Hordes is a couple years younger and they're always trying to catch it up, but I mean they still didn't get as much stuff as they usually get this time. Since it looks like we're gonna get full releases for all the factions, I think we're gonna get a lot of stuff, which I think means that pigs and gators will probably get those extra units and other war beasts and solos or whatever that they want so desperately.
If your wallet is going to get 2 lights instead of 1.
It probably does.
If your wallet was begging for mercy before,
you are the light war beast faction, my friend.
Although we were talking about
we were talking about that. Did you know, interesting enough, the difference between Legion and Trolls is Trolls has 1 more light and we have 1 more heavy. That's the difference.
Like you also have 3 different types of lessers.
And we have lessers. Yeah.
Well, I don't know, man. It's looking like Scorn is poised to jump in as like the new lesser faction.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
They showed off the War Beast packs, which I think is a really cool concept because it's something totally new to the game, and it opens up, like they were saying, it opens up a whole lot of things that'll affect them. Like now, things that target model the unit will affect the whole War Beast unit.
Yeah. Well, the Scorn ones. What's funny about the Scorn ones? They look like Helldivers. I'm like, that's where Crix got their Helldivers from.
Nice.
Yeah. They've been killing those things and turned them into Helldivers.
But yeah, so so the 2 that we saw this time were we saw the artwork for the Scorn ones, which, like you said, they kind of look like little Helldivers.
They're gonna have probably Burrow.
They always like to do this with like the Scorn artwork and fluff. They always like to be like little jabs at Circle because in that artwork they're just like little dudes is like jumping. He's like jumping on a Tharn and the Tharn is trying to crawl out from under it.
And then the Legion one, they showed
the concept.
They look like bees or something like that, like insects.
It's
gonna be so.
That's gonna be cool. A whole unit of flying beasts.
So my guess is they'll probably have like 8 hitboxes because if they're beasts, they're probably not gonna do 5. I don't see them doing 5.
Well, but the thing is that they'll probably be there'll be anywhere from like 4 to 6 of them. And I think the more of them there are, the less health each one's going to have. Because think about it, if you got 5 dudes and they've all got 5 boxes, then that's 20 boxes, which is about the number that a light has. So if they're going to cost it like a light, that might be how much they have. But if they're supposed to be more like a heavy that's in a unit form, maybe they'll have 8 boxes. And then 5 dudes will be like 40 boxes, but that's a lot of boxes.
They have the you can tell they're going to have flights. They're going to have Eye of Sight. They're going to have, my guess is with the Stinger, they're probably going to poison.
Not necessarily. They might have some ability. I mean, you have like what's the dude that creates
the Afflictor?
Yeah, the Afflictor.
Yeah, or maybe they'll just all make Incubus models when they kill things.
No, they won't necessarily do that. My point is that just because you have a Stinger doesn't mean that you're gonna be poisoned. It might be some other effect. Like instead of getting the poison die, it might be like when they do damage to somebody, like they get to pick one of 3 different effects, and then it does that.
Like auto
I would
corrosion or
expect
something.
about 10 boxes. They said that they. I
10
mean, they're
boxes.
gonna get weaker as they die because they said their
Well,
fury
'cause
stat.
their
you know,
fury is
veterans
the number
for
of
everyone
dudes
that
in the
dies,
unit.
yeah.
Well, I have a list of all the things that they said they would do. It says they have fury equal to the number of beasts in the unit, so they have a fury count. They count as both units and war beasts. They have damage tracks, not spirals. They must adhere to unit coherency and rules. You can transfer damage to them. You have the ability to leech and reave off them, and that they can frenzy. So, which I thought was really funny because he was like, "Yeah, if they frenzy, they're just going to cause all kinds of havoc."
Well, because they'll probably just attack each other. Well, maybe not. Maybe they'll have a rule that says they don't attack each other and they just attack other things. Oh, that could be bad.
Yeah,
just have like a unit of like 5 little dudes just run off and attack lots of crap.
It'd be
It'd be interesting to see how they.
Oh
they
my
balance all
god!
that.
Oh my god! If the circle one is living and we can primal it, and then they all frenzy and just go like ah! Just scatter in different directions.
Well, I'm sure you have to primal individual ones. You probably gonna.
I would totally spend 10 focus or 10 fury to primal all of those dudes.
Yeah, good luck with that.
Will they have an animus? Did they say?
They didn't say anything about animuses.
They may not have an animus. Might be
I don't
difficult.
know.
But the
Like,
simple
even
fact that
Lessers
you have
have
a
it,
unit
yes.
that you can boost that, that boost to hit and boost damage if you need to.
I don't know. They might have one point animuses, but they might not be necessarily fantastic. I mean, it might be like the freaking
A
archangel.
self thing. And...
Do you need to force them to charge, or do they charge like a unit?
Now, see, these are all questions that will probably be answered when we finally see the book, and then they have that whole page that's like,
Well,
"This
that
is how
would be-
warp packs work."
I don't have to worry about
I don't,
that as
I
a
don't
troll
think
player.
I don't think they'll make it to where you have to force them to charge, only because. Well, I don't know, because if
No,
they
they're
have
still-
if their fury is
they're
equal
still
number,
war
number
beasts.
that they're in their unit, then
It might be one fury and the whole unit charges. See, the thing is that they said that they are a war beast and a unit, and their fury is equal to the number of things in the unit, which makes me think that it's not a case where they're a little unit of dudes that all have 1 fury apiece. That they're actually like a little unit of dudes that counts as having 1 fury stat of like however much. So they'll probably be. So even if you have to pay for them to charge, it'll be like you pay 1 fury and they all charge.
So you keep it on the unit leader. Does
That's
that
what I
mean
was
that you
thinking,
can
yeah.
charge one guy out of your control area, but the unit leader is held back?
I don't
And
know.
that keeps them in your control area.
Like I said, there's going to be as with every time they introduce a new model type into the game, there'll be a whole page in the new book that'll be like, "This is how these work."
page.
There's
Several pages.
There's
I'm
gonna be
sure.
several pages.
Can you imagine with the sword or the back and the beast mistress and how heavy beast heavy the Legion can go already? They are going to be so incredibly.
Well,
I mean,
this
they
is-
already were, but
This is
Well, I know, right?
a
I
really
took that picture of all my beasts. I put up my personal Facebook page where I had 167 points of large beasts.
but everybody,
Not even counting the list.
but every faction can run beast heavy. Like they can all do it.
not
Legion,
like
Legion,
that. Likes
Legion
doing
Legion can do it the best. They can run with the most beasts, but every faction here can run with more beasts or with lots of beasts. I think it's kind of really cool. Because I've definitely noticed a trend with Privateer Press lately. They're really trying to get everyone to go back to the whole like, well, remember you got into this game to play like big stompy robots and big scary monsters, and like, so they're really trying to push War Machines toward playing the big stompy robots, and I don't think it's working quite as well. And for some reason, they also feel that they're going to try to push us more toward playing big stompy
Beasts, yeah.
beasts, but we already play those, so now we'll just play more of them, and we just won't play anything but beasts.
Yeah, well, hey, that's pretty much my whole army with regards to that. So, well, let's talk about like the new casters, for example. They showed they showed the new Xerxes on
a Rhino.
on a Rhino, which is
That
going to be a
model
battle
is
engine
awesome.
or a cavalry. I can't tell which one. It looks like it's gonna be a cavalry, like or no, it's not cavalry. It's like a battle engine based on the base size they were
Really
showing on the
big.
video.
I
It was
could
really
hear-
And Xerxes was always a big dude
Jose
anyway.
squealing.
Oh, he was.
Joy.
Yeah, he was texting me. Oh my gosh! Like my text is like blowing up. He's just him being like, "Wow, this is amazing."
It'll be cool. He'll be kind of. I suspect that. So, I mean, Xerxes was always like pretty offense oriented anyway. I feel like he'll probably just be more of that now. He'll probably just be like, and he himself will just murder the world. I'm sure he'll be kind of like the butcher of of that faction.
If a horse has a impact attack or a POW of 14, what does a rhino have?
A horse does not have a
Bulldoze.
POW 14 impact attack. What horse are you talking about?
Oh, a buffalo, Tuffalo.
Your Tuffalo have a POW 14.
What are the horses? I thought they were 14.
I don't know what the horses are.
I think they're like a 12. I think horses are like a 12. No, that rhino is easily going to have like a POW 14, 15 impact attack. It's going to be crazy. It'll probably have special rules like about things that it does too.
The elk are like 10 or something like that. So.
Oh, he'll be awesome. Like whatever he does, he'll be amazing.
Yeah, he looks cool. Yeah, definitely check it out. The other one
we saw the sculpt of Absolunia, but we didn't hear anything about what she's going to do.
I told you it was Absolunia.
Yes, you did. You did tell us it was Absolunia.
Money on it.
And I did not argue with you. So
yeah, nobody did. Everyone's like, yeah, great, Absolunia, fantastic.
More Absolunia. I'm okay with that.
So clearly, she has flight all the time now.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. Like, so you remember how she used to like do her controlled warp and get different things, and then. So maybe just like they kind of rolled all those things into her.
That's exactly what I said. I think that's what they should have done. Like when I even before they were talking about something, I said they should make her go epic and they should take all those 3 abilities and just throw them into her. And that's
it kind of looks like what they did because she's like
she has a tail now too.
She's got a really long tail. Yeah, she's got the big fully formed wings and the giant claw. So it's like she's got all of the things that it's like her model has all of the things that she used to get. The reach
plus her strength
and the strength and the flight. That's like what she's
gonna be amazing.
Yeah, it's sweet.
She looks like a little mini archangel. I'm so happy.
I think. Yeah, her
head looks better too with the cool like.
Well, she is your beastcaster. I'm scared to see.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
Well, so we know they're getting a beast pack and they're getting a new Absolunia, and she is supposed to be like one of the most dedicated beastcasters in the Beastie faction. I'm going to put money on it right now that her tier list has some benefit for either taking multiple beast packs or some benefit for beast packs when you meet other requirements. I'm going to put money on that right now.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah. I am game.
That'll be her thing, and like she'll have a tier list where it's just like swarm people with the little beasties, and they just go.
Well, it's kind of funny too because when they were talking about, they didn't mention Absolunia. They just showed the picture, but it's funny when they were talking about the Xerxes and things like that. Then they went right into like they started talking about Rise and Sayer, and then they were like, "Yeah, they get this beast." And I was like, "Dang it!" I was like, "Rise, epic Rise,
that beast looks pretty cool."
But yeah, I'm totally digging.
So this is the second occasion where a faction has taken one of their beasts that's normally on a light base and made it heavy and a character, and it got 2 weapons, just like the last time it happened.
I think it's gonna have 3. It looks like it's gonna have a shot like they shoot out his mouth.
But I mean, 2 weapons in his hand.
Yeah.
So the last time this happened, we got Moloch Karn. I'm really not excited to see what we get this time.
Nephilim Karn.
They're gonna make up for the Archangel rules.
Well, and
they probably feel a little bit of creator's remorse.
You just have to be ecstatic because now you're getting this beast pack, which
it's gonna fly.
Judging by the art, models as cool as the grotesque, with hopefully rules that you want to play.
Right.
They're better. They're just grotesque, but better. Yeah. So
it's what the grotesques always should have been. But. And he's going to have 2 bonds. This is going to be really interesting. You can take him with either Saren or Rias, and he'll have a different bond.
A different ability, depending which one you take with. That's going to be cool. And I
suspect it'll be a more defensive bond with Saren and a more offensive one.
Every time I'm like, I can hear Jose swearing. Every time they're like, they give something to Rias. Like, because when they gave her reach, like, he didn't stop swearing for like 10 minutes on the phone. And then, like, and then I think I played against you with Rias when she had reach, and it was so much better, like so much easier to use her. And now she's getting this character beast too. I'm like, yes,
okay.
She actually does well with the Nephilim. Like people don't take with her, but like the one that gives her flight, so she can ignore, basically takes care of the Pathfinder issue. You've got the one that can take the hit for the Protector, which can take the hit for. You got Massacre, which lets things charge free. You can make it with her feet. She can go and charge, kill something, move an inch, get another attack, jump base to base with it, kill something else, and then it just ridiculous.
I think she works well with the lights.
She does really well.
Well, I think her feet works really well with the lights because you want a lot of attacks with her feet, and I think lights are a good way to do that because they're higher quality attacks than a lot of the infantry models that you can bring with her.
Yeah, and I don't play as much infantry with her as I probably should, but
well, she has dash. She definitely wants some infantry.
I know, right? But I like to take the throne in like 2 side.
Are you thinking then that with these things that they're kind of giving that touch on Rias, that like, are you thinking maybe 2015 is the year of Rias?
Maybe.
Like when all the stuff from this new book starts coming out. out. She's just
I
going to be
think they're
she's going to be
trying to
top
make
tier
her more
caster
playable.
2015.
They're trying to make her, obviously they're trying to make her more playable, giving her reach and giving her a beast. Like they're trying, which is good because she's already my favorite caster. So I'm like, just bring it on, baby. It's all like icing on the cake. So like the new Nephilim's gonna come out in June at my birthday time, and at Christmas time they gave her reach. It's just gonna be like birthday
Nephilim's
Christmas,
coming out in
birthday
June?
Christmas, right? Huh?
The Nephilim is coming out in June.
No,
I'm
I'm just saying I can see it coming
yeah.
out in June.
Yeah,
for my
the
birthday.
whole reason
Wait,
why I
has
got
that
out
other
of,
Nephilim come out yet? The one that casts.
No,
they
haven't even spoiled the art
haven't
on that.
I know. I'm like, what the heck? Like they already showed stuff for the new book. I'm like, we haven't. There's still at least one model they haven't. Even
They
shown a
haven't. They
picture
haven't
for.
released. Well, yeah, like they haven't shown your thing yet, which is annoying. They finally showed our new Satyrs model, but they haven't actually like released him yet or
And
given
the-
a release
and
date.
The, and the new Scorn beast, the character one, which
Right.
is really cool. But
But actually,
Bloodseer, come on.
I think that on the topic of that, I think that Nephilim could actually work well with her as well, because he can cast like other Nephilim's animi as his as himself, so he can be like whatever she needs of him right at the time that she needs it.
Yeah. She can. It also has. Oh, that new Nephilim. I mean, that Nephilim, the Bloodseer is going to be really good with Bethany and Belphegor too. It's going to be stupid.
I think it will. Anyway, so okay, so that was that beastie. We saw that. We also saw in the video at one point they showed a picture of what looked like a satyr for Circle. Because like he had the horns and he was
And
like
they were spirally too.
and they were kind of spirally, and he looked like he was kind of wearing a hood and maybe holding like a weapon, like a stick.
Yeah,
It's kind of what it looked like.
To see.
So obviously the thought is, well, we just got the third satyr, so they made a plastic kit, and so now we have another plastic kit. This is probably a character satyr. Color me excited about that, because I love me some goats. And character goats are awesome, especially if it actually is holding a weapon, because war beasts that hold weapons are just ridiculous.
Dude.
I.e. Mullet Karn and Mulg.
I saw at the hobby store they sell like little cans, like little Coke cans. You need to have like your goats and littered with like cans are like half chewed up and stuff like that. All
That
around.
would be awesome. I promise you, if we get a character satyr, I'm gonna build a goat list. It'll have Goat Vana as the leader too. It'll be a really weird list. It'll be like a beast heavy Goat Vana list with lots of goats.
I agree with the character assumption, just because in that pit, I don't know, I just me.
I mean, he looked more badass than normal.
He looked more, you know how the satyr artwork and even on the models they look more. I mean, and even in the fluff they are more animalistic. That one
He
looked
looked
like
smarter.
He had,
Yeah, he looked older, almost
Well,
like kind of like a
Actually,
rock type thing.
it's sort of funny if you look at all the satyrs. Like they're giving us the satyrs, like they progressively get more intelligent. So like the very first satyr, I believe, that was released was the Shadowhorn, which in the fluff is actually the least intelligent and most aggressive one. And then the Gnarlhorn is supposed to be a little smarter than that. It's smart enough to like recognize warlocks and want to protect them. That's why it has counter slam. And then like and then the new satyr that hasn't come out yet, the Riphorn. Theirs are supposed to be even smarter, like smart enough that they use like rudimentary tools. They can be trained to use weapons, which is why he has things on his fists. They live in their own little kind of primitive societies. And this new guy, like you said, he looks even smarter than the other satyrs. So it's just like, apparently as satyrs get smarter, they become like more and more awesome.
And then you have Gettering, so who's kind of half the satyr.
No, he's a wolf guy
He's got horns.
made out of a beast man.
Well, one of the other things too one of the things too I kind of want to get into, is kind of hitting on some of the stuff, is the journeyman warlocks.
So everyone said when they said that the new journeyman warcasters were going to be part of Vengeance, they're like, oh, well, that obviously means we'll get journeyman warlocks in the next Hordes book, and they were right, because that's what we're getting.
Yeah,
And they're all going to be characters, and every faction's going to get
they
one.
talked about two, and of course they said they can take any beasts that they want with them, but it seems like they're going to have special.
Yeah, so the
ones they want to take, not necessarily the ones they have to take.
Right, the Legion one, she can only take lessers, right?
Yeah, I can only take the lessers.
And they said that these new ones will be able to take other things, but that they'll be geared toward specific stuff.
Yeah,
like
so
yours.
The troll one.
Yeah, I mean, everybody loved the best part of the new calendar tier from the new quarter.
The troll one's name is Horgel Ironsmith.
Oh yeah,
and yours is Uma the Falconer.
I'm gonna guess.
I like her
reach
name.
And continuous fire on a sword. And,
well, it looks like he has a sword and a hammer, right?
I don't know. I didn't see the hammer.
The sword was on fire.
Yeah, the sword. I'm like, ooh, fire! Like fire.
Well, I thought I saw in that picture that he had two weapons.
He might have.
And then it looked like a shorter one, and then the sword. And I thought the shorter one might have been a hammer.
Good, as long as it's not a shield.
Would have made sense because he's supposed to be like the Forge Master, right?
Right. Yeah,
so it made sense if he had a hammer. But plus, trolls love their hammers.
Yeah.
And their mismatched weapons.
And of course, he gets the pyres and the slags cheaper.
For cheap, yeah. Everybody's favorite part about that, they were just spamming lights in the new Commander tier. I had 4-point pyre trolls and 5-point slag trolls, and I'm just guessing as far as he was supposed to do something for their ranged attacks. The biggest limitation,
yeah, I did say he was
is range 8 on all. I
maybe it's a
every
gun that he
single
has
one
in
of
other
our beasts have range 8.
I don't remember.
So maybe fire group. Maybe the damage, extra die on damage.
Maybe snipe.
Maybe snipe. Could have a impaler in your regular battle group? Just
snipe or
toss
something,
some snipe on
yeah.
that. I don't know. I'm coloring me intrigued.
It probably won't be. It probably won't be a battle group snipe just because the impaler already exists. Because I feel like they would think that was redundant, and I would agree that probably is redundant. It'll probably be something about like. What does Gaston have for his shooting guys? I know he's got the one where they can back up after they kill
It's
somebody.
called what's that?
But then
called?
he's got
run and gun or
right, like gun
something
and
that.
run. But he has also something else that's supposed to be for like their accuracy or their damage, right?
I don't know.
It'll probably
forget.
It'll probably be something
I
similar
can't
to
take
that, where
He doesn't like to work for critics.
he'll give your pyre trolls and slag trolls some good thing.
For the love of God, don't make it bushwhack, please, God.
No, they don't have long enough range guns for that. I'm pretty sure it won't be that, but. I've been on the receiving end of those two, of the shooting from those two war beasts, and I'm not excited about them being a point cheaper in your list, and also being better at the shooting that annoys the crap out of me.
Yeah, it's like slag troll, dude.
I mean, you always end up taking
4-point pyres is so wrong. It's just not even okay. Not even a little bit.
Take it anyway.
I actually have a harder time with the slags than I do the pyres when I play.
Slag as War Machine and Pyre is
I guess that's true. I do usually
Legion or Menoth.
What a pyre is 5 points normally, and you're gonna take one most of the time, just for its buff. So essentially adding 2 points to that to make him a 7-point war beast that still does his job of giving out his animist, but is also more awesome at his secondary job of shooting stuff is not appealing to me as the player on the receiving end of that. But I'm sure the troll players will love it because it's like, here, 2 points, upgrade your pyre troll, make him more awesome.
Well, what about yours? The Uma the
Her
Falconer.
model.
Oh my god, she's so pretty.
I love the picture.
Her
The artwork is
her
amazing.
art is amazing, and her model is gorgeous. And I will buy her and paint her meticulously just because she's pretty. Her rules could be crap, but I don't think they will be. And I would still buy her and love her.
Look, I almost bought 2 Venathraxes because I wanted to paint another one.
She's got, what is it, 2 or 3 birds on her? I know she's like got one on her.
She's got the one on her arm.
On her arm, and then one on her staff.
I think she has 2 on her staff. I think she's got a lot of them.
So she's awesome, and she's supposed to be like a hunter and a falconer, and they said that the thing that she's supposed to do is improve griffins, and I'm really excited about this because first I just love the look and fluffiness of the griffins, but also all the griffins are purpose built to do or the 2 griffins that exist currently are purpose built to do a thing. The shadow, the Scarsfell Griffin, he hunts down solos and other lights. Like, that's his job. He's really good at it. And then the other one is, like, dedicated, like, get into the fight by trampling over stuff and then, battle it out kind of war beast. And they're good at what they do.
The Razorwing.
Yeah, the Razorwing. They're really good at the dedicated job that they have. And I suspect that the new Griffin will do the same. It sounds like he has a gun. And I bet that he'll be really focused around whatever he does with his gun. And I think giving those Griffins a model that makes them better at whatever it is they're already trying to do is just going to be amazing.
Yeah. Well,
just imagine a Razorwing Griffin that's just even better at being a combat war beast. I mean, you've seen my Razorwings take out your trolls.
Yeah. Well, no, the Razor. Here's a thought I just had though: is even with the extended control range, these guys are probably going to be what, Fury 3, 4, maybe.
4 probably.
So 8, 16 inches. She's going to have to be incredibly fast, or have a spell or a trick up her sleeve.
Oh, she's Circle. She'll have some trick up her sleeve.
She'll teleport or something. Yeah. There was the.
You know what I'm kind of hoping for. what I'm really excited about for these new lesser warlocks is if you take the Legion one that they have as sort of a guide, you know, she has the limited battle group, but then she has like a field marshal for them. And then we've already heard that, you know, the one that the Circle one's supposed to improve Griffins in some way, and that the you know, the Troll one is supposed to at least at the very least just reduce the cost of your guys and also possibly improve their shooting. I really like this. I think this is a good thing, and I want to see more of it, and I'm really excited to see what it actually is, because, you know, giving out things like Field Marshal or, you know, those sorts of abilities, it really makes your investment in that War Beast or Warjack or whatever feel a lot better.
Yeah.
And actually, if I could have anything I wanted, I would want her to have the Viros ability, Bird's Eye. That thing, you know, where she and her battle group just ignore models for line of sight and have the 360 arc. I would want that. That's my own personal thing. I guarantee they won't give it to her because that'd just be wrong, but I would love it.
You have flight. You have flight. You ignore models when you do charges and stuff anyway.
She may not have. Here's another thing. So they said that the journeyman warcasters are supposed to go. Are supposed to become full warcasters at some point, and the same will probably be true of the journeyman warlock or the lesser warlocks. So I guarantee you this: she may not have flight now, but when she goes and becomes a real warlock, she'll have flight.
She'll have wings.
She'll have wings.
She'll turn into a bird. Yeah, well, you know, we didn't even get a chance to talk about the of course you talk about the new Griffin, but like, you know, the two-headed the new Argus coming out, the what?
Mastiff.
Yeah, the Mastiff.
Yeah, so Circle just randomly got like super awesome bit
Does
of good news.
anyone else think that those should have been the dogs that Khador got?
Yes.
Yeah.
Since
I looked at it, I was like, that should have been the Khador one. I think they got the models mixed up.
They look more Khador-y.
Yeah.
I think the first comment I read after that was announced was like, I'm going to use that instead of the dogs I got in the Witcher 3.
I mean, I can see it happening, yeah.
That
makes sense.
I was actually really excited about those two just randomly appearing on the site.
Yeah.
I was like, there was no warning that was going to happen. It was just like, here. Happy day for Circle.
Yeah, because that's when we were like, because it's funny, I thought those were just models that didn't get released from Gargantuans, and then I was talking to Jason. He's like, "Yeah, you've seen the new Circle." I was like, "Yeah, well, whatever." He's like, "No, those are from the new book," and I'm like, "What do you mean from the new book?" He's like, "Yeah." He goes, "Those weren't in Gargantuan." I was like, "What?"
Yeah.
So does Circle win the next book because we had the first models shown off?
Well, the problem, see, you're going to run the same problem that Cricks ran into, is you're going to get your releases, and then you're not going to get anything for a year and a half.
Hey, well, you know what? Those two War Beasts are already on the site, which is like the first step toward them actually getting a release date. So I bet those will probably be the first things that get released.
was announced first, and we had that Gargantuan,
the first Gargantuan.
Well before.
So I'm really excited. And actually, they look pretty cool too. They changed up the colors and they changed up their poses a little bit. And everyone's like in a tizzy, of course, trying to figure out what they do. Aside from sounding like he has a gun and maybe maybe assault. I have no idea what that Griffin will do.
Whale.
People think whaling. That might be kind of fun.
The dog's getting a
whaling
stealth
in
or something like that.
I just figured whatever, it'd be like the Banshee, you know, like has an area effect where you can't do certain, you know.
But yeah, whaling. Whaling in Circle on a light war beast would be kind of bad for the rest of the world, but I'd be okay with it.
Kill it with fire.
I just think it'd be funny if you start getting beasts that mimic a lot of your retribution stuff because you're playing more retribution.
If we did really get a Griffin that had whaling, I would actually feel really bad for trolls because that would be like what the Night Troll wishes it was. Because whaling is so much better than a lord.
I was so expecting to get bored with trolls this year and just
But after this,
collect dust. I'm like, these models came out well before I expected anything from the next book. So
yeah,
I'm super happy and excited.
Well, I figured given the delayed release we had on the Vengeance book that we were not going to see the new book until 2015. But we're going to get
said 2015.
But we're going to get it in fall this year.
Yeah, they said the fall.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So,
oh. And speaking of new things for trolls, you finally actually get to...
I'll bet your models will be... Those models that you just saw will be out at Gen Con.
They probably will.
I'll bet they're at Gen Con.
So we've finally seen a picture of what everyone assumes the elusive highwaymen are.
Yeah, those... they're not... I didn't see from the picture, but they're not on mounts like everyone expected them to be like Cav.
But they all have like masks on their face and guns.
The thing looks cool. The picture looks cool because they're all like behind trees or like behind stuff.
They look kind of like what like scouts should have been, because scouts can throw their hand axes, but they got like guns and stuff like. I saw I'm really not. I don't know what to expect from these guys. I hope they can hit really hard, and then with the scouts having ambush from
maybe
Epic Rim's
that could be good.
tier list. I hope, since the scouts, I hope the Highwaymen can crack armor. I guess is what I'm saying. So we'll see. They look like
trolls
stealthy.
really need more things to crack armor.
That his tier list does.
Grimm's?
Epic Grim.
Oh, all right, all right. Epic Grim in particular might, but
That's a Hunter's Grim, isn't it?
yeah.
Although they might not, but he has mortality, and
They'll
they
be
may
cool,
be like, well, this is going to be his limitation. So,
I don't know. Not that you can judge much from the artwork, but the art looks cool.
yeah, the artwork definitely looks.
Yeah, the
cool.
Nephilim looks interesting.
The Nephilim looks scary, and it looks like he will have a breath attack because his mouth is all lit up.
Yeah. So
Like the Ravagor's mouth. That's what we need. We need more Ravagors in this game.
It's a troll with a gun, though, so they're probably going to be a Rat 4, and everybody will be really upset.
You're the Khador of... No, literally, I would say the trolls are like the Khador of hordes. Like, you all have guns, you're just not very good with them.
Yes. Stop giving the pigs weapons. They have no motor coordination.
What this?
Yeah, those bushwhackers never do anything.
I'm surprised you don't roll like a D6, and then like on a 1, they kill
shoot
themselves.
themselves.
That'd be awesome. Well,
they are not terribly intelligent.
well, let's get into the second half of what they announced.
Wait, did we cover all of the stuff?
We did, believe it or not. We actually
So
covered it.
the battle
although
engines...
we didn't really get into much of the battle engines, I guess. Let's talk about that real quick. So the battle engines for hordes for the minions, you got the
Oh yeah, so everyone really wanted Gargantuans,
The Meat
and they were
Thresher
all
and
arguing
the
over which
Sacrifice.
faction would get it. And then instead of either faction getting a Gargantuan, they both got battle engines.
yeah. I'm like battle engine. Okay, I guess I can't complain. Something new.
The Gator one looks interesting. So it's giant, like
It's a
temple
giant pillar.
thing?
Yeah, it's gonna be like the throne. It's gonna be like this
Yeah,
tall.
it's gonna be. It's like it's like the throne.
Although
And
it's funny, it's got a wrestler behind it, like pushing it.
It's two. It's pushed around by two albino gators, which is kind of funny. So it's kind of like
gators are albino
if
anyway,
you combined like the what's the Menoth one called?
Oh, the vassal.
The vessel of
Vessel
judgment.
of Judgment.
So if you combine the vessel of judgment with the throne, I would think that that's how you get this.
Yeah, it's weird. It's like they're pushing it, and it's got the guy on the front, which is it's. I mean, you look at the model; it's kind of disgusting. We got the gator on top. He's got the knife, and he's got the dude's head in his hand, and it's got the body without the head on the altar on the top. And I'm like, that's kind of gruesome.
You know what? It'll probably be similar to the Circle battle engine in that it will have no melee attacks. I'm gonna guess that right now. It doesn't look like it has melee attacks, but it has a dude on top who will cast spells, and it'll probably have spells and maybe ranged attacks.
The thing that he was talking about reminded me of the I think it's called Doors of Judgment on the Vessel of Judgment, where if a guy dies within 5 inches,
right,
he can immediately move and attack, because he was saying that if like your models or enemy models, he can like take over them.
Yeah, he can take souls. And he can apparently use souls to take over enemy models.
Well, he said something about take over, but then he said take over the recently dead enemy models.
Right. So it may be just like the Vessel of Judgment in that way. Like
that'll be weird.
But it can also that it can definitely do. It can collect souls to do whatever other thing it does, which seems cool. That'll be its boost mechanic, souls.
More soul stuff.
I bet that goes toward armor or something like that.
And
because they're not going to let that go like 10 inches across the board. The limitation of that, I think, is going to be you have to get it in the thick of things. So
probably.
Or we'll have to have a stupidly long control range, like 12 inches or something.
The guy with the feet with the armor.
So that thing's boost mechanic will be the souls, obviously. And I think then that the pig one, its boost mechanic is going to be corpses, because pigs love their corpses. And it looks like a giant. It's like a wheat thresher, except for meat.
Yeah.
And oh my gosh, the little pigs inside running to make it run. Oh, that was
actually
brilliant.
I'm actually really excited about these battle engines, because these are the first new battle engines we've seen since the original set came out, or the original 2 sets came out. And like, like they released the new Colossal, right? And it's awesome, and it's like it seems better than the other Colossals in a lot of ways. At least it seems to have better rules in general for what it's supposed to do. And I kind of get the feeling that they refine these things as they go. So like I'm kind of hopeful that these new battle engines will be like better, or like we'll just have more coherent rules than the old battle engines. I mean, it seems if I'm correct, it seems really obvious that they both at least have a boost mechanic, which is a definite plus, because battle engines without boost mechanics are kind of mopey.
Yeah, sorry. You and Kador suffer a lot with that one.
No, actually, I think, and I might be biased, but I've read this before. I think the Trolls battle engine is one of the top three.
Yeah,
Well,
with the 5-inch AoE shot.
Because it can move and shoot, I think is a big part of what makes it good.
It can trample as a melee attack, as a spray attack, and it has a 5-inch. If it directly hits, and there's the if, POW 16 on a direct damage, knock everything down.
Yeah,
I like blast on a 5-inch temple is pretty good.
Yeah.
So.
Oh yeah, the bloat thralls love that mess. So.
Also, I think my favorite thing about the pig battle engine that we've seen so far is the way that it moves. They have like it looked like they had like 2 or 3 of those little bristle boars inside of there.
Yeah, razor boars.
Those little razor boars inside of there. They're like,
so
the way they get this to move is they have the razor boars run in the tube, and the way they get them to run is they heat up the tube so that the razor boars are trying to run away from the fire.
Because there's one, it's like upside down in the thing. It's so funny looking. Yeah, whoever sculpted that was brilliant. The way they did that is fantastic.
That was pretty funny.
So, like that looks cool enough to almost buy and paint just to have that one. That's pretty cool.
I would try it.
It's also going to have
if you moved it across the table, you could
they
spin
actually
it.
moved.
That would be cool. Somebody will mod it to do that.
Drill a hole through it.
It's also going to have a Gatling gun on top, and you said the D3 shot one. I'm hoping for the
rapid fire or auto fire.
I'm hoping auto fire because that's the better version of that.
Yeah, they could use it.
It just makes it 3 shots. That'd be cool. Because then I'm glad it at least has a gun, so it's not just all melee and stuff.
They're going to need a decent tar pit to stand in front of that thing. They don't really. I mean, the brigands don't really.
But hopefully they'll get one this time.
Hopefully, I hope.
They desperately need one.
Yeah,
Gators get a lot of love. I don't remember the last. Well, I do remember the last time.
I don't know.
It's been 3 years since I've seen Pharaoh on the table.
Gators need.
Yeah.
Although I don't know if they'll ever get this now that Rask exists, because Fury kind of makes Posse into a damage dealing unit. But Gators before Rask didn't really have a solid dedicated damage unit, and Pigs don't have a dedicated tar pit. I think they both need to get those things. Anyway.
All right, so let's go into we'll go on to Cephalyx now. So this is the big reveal. Also, the new Cephalyx charter for Mercs, which I had a feeling was going to be the case.
I was wrong. I admit, forums.
So you were wrong. What did you think was going to be the thing that they announced? Did you think it was going to be Cephalyx or like a...
Yes, I knew. With the picture they showed with Matt Wilson spoiled, I had a feeling it was going to be Cephalyx.
So the two things I heard
but I didn't think they were going to be the new... Like, I was curious whether they were going to be the new Hordes faction, but
Oh, yeah.
You were winning me over with them being the new Hordes faction, but I still kept thinking, I was like, but they're like a Merc charter. Like, I don't see them being...
I wasn't saying they were going to be a Hordes faction.
Him.
Oh, him.
Sorry.
Yeah, so mercenary minions.
So there were the two... Yeah. So there was like... I guess those were the big things, right? There was going to be a new Hordes faction, or there was going to be a Cephalyx thing, and then there was
I really thought they were going to do the.
There were the people who made that, who like hybrided those things. They're like, it'll be Cephalyx, but they'll be hordes, and it's just like, I don't think that's how it'll work.
I think they're going to announce that at Lock and Load, or
no, we'll probably get the new hordes faction next year. We'll probably have to wait 1 more year before we get it.
I'm gonna keep my fingers crossed for Infernos.
They love to do their really big. Well, it'll be. I think Zoo is more likely. Honestly,
I really hope
people like the Inferno.
Zoo would be fun, but
I think Zoo is more interesting,
or
not more interesting, is more likely.
Zoo, from what I read, is an more infantry, and with them going big stompy robots.
But the thing is that Zoo is a continent.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like Imran, who knows what we'll get out of Zoo? Like they could have anybody come from across the ocean and be a new faction.
Races we've never even seen before.
Right. So, but yeah, I think my guess is we'll have to wait till next year's big reveal at the beginning of the year before we get that.
Yeah. Well, what we do know we're getting Cephalyx, so let's talk about this.
All right.
All right. So the first thing, so
Cephalyx, mercenary charter. That's the big
mercenary charter. Probably be a Crix charter at that.
So they're releasing in their own book. I find this interesting. So there's apparently going to be enough stuff to kind of flesh them out as a full charter that they feel they have to put it into a separate book. Well, that's kind of cool. It means there'll be a lot of stuff.
Pirates had the same treatment though.
Well, it's true.
As soon as they, and I told Eric this, as soon as they compared it to Pirates, I knew.
He was out.
You scooped?
I'm out. I'm out.
But you know what? Though Pirates don't have a lot of depth that they don't have.
These guys aren't either.
They don't have the depth that a full faction has, and these guys won't either. I agree with that. But Pirates have enough depth to play as a list, to take as like one of your 2 or 3 lists, and to
Right.
make a good list. And these guys will be the same.
Right, they're gonna have
They'll-
one good list,
One good list,
and
or maybe 2.
it'll be fun. I am not. I love the models. Don't get me wrong. I
Oh
love
my
the
gosh, they're
models.
amazing. They all look
The
amazing.
mechanic seems awesome. Their caster looks awesome.
Oh, actually, so yeah, let's talk about the
But they are
big
going to
mechanic.
get
We
blown
should
off
do
the
that.
table. They're going to go, the Cephalyx list. I'm going to drop this, and it's going to be like when I
I
played
think-
Journeyman with Pirate's Life.
I think the list that you're going to see to counter the Cephalyx is going to be the gun list, because drudges have no defense, and yeah, you won't be able to shoot Cephalyx to death because they'll all sack pawn into stuff, but you can shoot their drudges.
Yeah.
But
And Dredges.
so their big mechanic, we should talk about that first, because that's the really
Actually,
big
pretty good
awesome
armor.
thing.
They're like 15, 16 armor, something stupid like that.
Drudges? Yeah,
Yeah.
they're base 15.
Base 15.
It's okay for.
Base 15.
But
the
see, they're
Krill version of
11,
that
15.
holds up to black.
They're 11, 15.
Bane
Their
Thralls?
stats are terrible.
Bane Thrall's 15.
But
Actually,
see-
I think they have the same stats as Bane Thralls, actually.
That's the thing, that they're supposed to be terrible. That's what he. Who was talking about it? I forget. Anyway, whoever was talking about it, he said that yeah, Cephalyx make drudges do things. Drudges are crap without Cephalyx. And if you actually look at the current Cephalyx and drudges that they have, yes, drudges are terrible. They don't do anything.
Yeah.
Well, they have
But the Cephalyx make them good.
Yeah, well, they have what they were talking about. One of the first ones they talked about. I wrote them down in order they talked about them, but the first one is the Agitator, which is the one that gives them the +2 attack and damage rolls to all the Cephalyx in their command range.
So that's pretty sweet.
Yeah.
If,
so it's
so
like
if we
Choir.
just look at the one drudge or the one drudge unit we have right now, that turns Cephalyx drudges that currently exist from Mat 5 POW 13 into Mat 7 POW 15, and a bunch of Mat 7 POW 15 dudes scares me.
Yes.
Yeah.
They may be slow, but I'm sure they'll have a way to compensate for that.
Did they show the command range on that? Did they show
did
the
not.
card?
No.
Nope.
They only showed the card on 2 of the monstrous guys. We'll go into those in a second. But the other thing to talk about is the Mindbender and the Drudge unit. That's the one with where he can arc node through the unit themselves because they all have that
And then
red
they
glowing
destroy
eye.
it.
Actually, that excites me. This may be the first time we've ever seen a solo or unit attachment who can actually arc through other models. Like the only things we've ever seen arc spells before are warcasters and warlocks.
And they said that the spells that he casts are not just for his unit. They can he
Go
can
to
target
other
other
things.
things too.
Yeah, it seems really cool actually. I like
there's
that idea.
And of course, all the
What was the other dude? The one who attaches to small and medium based units.
Dominator.
So this guy seems interesting, and it also seems like they'll be able to, because he was talking about it. He's like they could take boom howlers and what was it? He said Nis.
Yeah, he
Those are
starts
the
on-
examples that he gave. So from that, it sounds like their contract will be able to take things from other people's stuff. Although nobody else's contracts can take Cephalyx right now unless they add that rule onto
Yeah,
Cephalyx.
which they're not going to.
Which they probably won't.
They're going to.
And that makes perfect sense actually because they're the they're the dominating faction. They
I just-
steal
it's gonna
people
be
away
crazy
and they
to see
turn
like
them into
boom
stuff.
howlers on a Cephalyx list.
But yeah, so that's kind of cool. And this dude, he improves a unit a lot in some vague way.
Yeah.
But his drawback for this, the cost you pay, is that if he dies, something
automatically flees or
it's
something.
it sounded like an automatic flee, but it'll be more complicated than that because I think because like what if you have a fearless unit, right? I'm sure that he'll do something that kind of like weakens the unit for a turn.
Well, you think
after
about
he's
it.
gone.
If you think about it, he's supposed to be controlling them, right? He's supposed to be controlling the unit, like mentally. He's controlling them. They can't do anything. So if he dies, they're not going to fight for the Cephalyx if all of a sudden they're free.
Right.
So they may actually just leave the table if he dies. I don't know. It'll be crazy.
It'll do something. And actually, I think that's an interesting idea. Like I think that that's a great way to balance out taking good units and making them even better because those two examples he gave are the things that a lot of factions love to take out of mercenaries because boom howlers are always good and Nis are always good. And making them better is kind of crazy. Like, look at Valachev. He gives Nis Zephyr, and that's wrong. But so
that's a thing.
and that's a thing. But this guy though, making them awesome and then having some horrible penalty when he dies, maybe for just like a turn though, or maybe for the rest of the game. Who knows? I think that could easily be something you could pay. It's kind of a risk reward thing, and he'll have sack pawn to them, of course. But
Yeah, I was saying to Eric today on the phone. It was just hypothesizing or theory crafting with this guy about what the bad thing. But could you imagine if he probably does have sack pawn like the other guys do.
I'm sure he
And
will.
with boom howler,
With
Sack
4
pawn to
plus
boom
tough.
howlers.
4+ tough.
Yeah. It's like, that boom howler takes
you're
it.
never going to get that dude off the table.
Yeah.
It's like, that dude over there takes it. Okay, he's tough and he doesn't fall down. All right, next.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just keep sacking to the same guy over and over.
And of course he's going to be UA that can go with all those guys, so that's pretty cool. Then they went into the monstrosities.
This seems really cool.
They have full damage grids. First I put down what they had, and based on the cards that I saw, they said that none of them were going to be more expensive than 7 points.
So they're all cheap. They all have bad defensive stats. The one they showed was a 10-17, and that is awful.
They're all 10-17.
But
I saw, I think.
But 36 damage boxes for 7 points. Even at armor 17, that'll hold up to some punishment.
They all have eyeless sights.
I have to see it on the table. I play a 12-18 heavies, and I find dire trolls to be pretty squishy, and they have a pretty healthy amount of boxes.
Look at your.
I think that's going to be the case. I think people are going to find that out. Like, but that's not to say that the caster and things like that aren't going to have.
Well, no, but
too,
okay, but the thing is that they're not going to die to just random stuff, though.
I could if I could charge them with Temple Flame Guard, and probably if I got.
Oh, that'll. No. I'm not saying that they'll hold up to a bunch of punishment and they'll be able to take like a weapon master charge or something like that.
Not a non-weapon master charge. If you get
what's the power of the weapon?
5 guys with reach charging one of those guys, and you didn't block any of the charge lands.
I think you're going to need at least POW 14 weapons and good dice to get 5 guys onto one of those dudes and kill it.
Yeah.
But the thing is, though, that 36 boxes, even at armor 17, is enough that whatever you put in to kill it will probably kill it, but you're going to have to put like the whole of it in there. You're going to have a whole War Beast or Warjack activate to kill it.
There's also something to this too that we haven't gone into, which is about the caster, because the caster can actually help them out a lot too. But the PNS on the one with the wrecking thing and then the blades that were on chains, whatever, he shows them swinging like he says up. He's got reach on those. Those are those are power and strength 17s. They'll
be chain weapons.
The warden one, the one with the clamps on the hands, his damage is only 14, but he can also attack with his head too, which is also 14.
His head is also where the shield is,
Yeah,
right?
I bet he has trash. I bet the one guy who's swinging around the big logs can knock down.
Yeah, they said he's got a net that he can drag. Well, let's hear. The wrecker is the one. The wrecker